This fall, prepare for an extraordinary event unlike any the world has ever seen.
Oh, it's going to be much, much bigger than that.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Hello, YouTube. How are y'all doing tonight? I hope everything's going good for everybody. Special thanks to the guys that's going to be behind the part that I made here for digging into this a little bit more. I'll put their links below. In all of theirs, they don't show the little smiley face. That's the reason why I'm putting this in here and giving you a little bit of essay on what's going on here. I wanted y'all all to see this. The age is the most important thing of the whole document, in my opinion, because they're laughing at you. I can't express that enough. If they'll put that pen did not make that face and that 8. There's no way, guys. So I'm making this, pointing it out to you one more time. You can see an eyeball, you can see a nose, and you can see a mouth. That right there, somebody ought to go out there and take that right there and make a t-shirt and put it out there. If I had the money, I'd make my own. But the point of it is this, people. You know, if we're going to stop any of this stuff, it needs to be stopped before the next election. It needs to be stopped. It needs to be stopped soon. This man is a fraud. He's destroying our country. But now, trust me when I say he's got a lot of help. He's got a lot of help. But we can get rid of part of the problem by getting rid of him. There's a lot of this stuff going on. And one other thing, if this video does not get any views, I'm going to be very disappointed, because there's a lot of hard work in 3 people that I know, and all of those videos has got work in them. But now with them all put together like they are right now, the way they're put together, there's enough proof in this right here. If you was a normal person that lived on, just normal person, just a country boy, a city girl, a city boy, it didn't matter. Normal person, they'd put you in prison for this right here, because this is a fraud. You know it's a fraud. He knows it's a fraud. So come on, people. It's time to make this worldwide known. Take this video, upload it, re-upload it, send it out to more and more people. Keep this in the public's eye. This is news. It's news that people don't know and people don't see. Get this news out. It needs to go out to everybody. Everybody, folks. God bless y'all. Much love. Heads up. And for God's sakes, let's get this done.
And I just want to show you on screen what exactly is happening. When you make a photocopy of something, there are no layers. It's a flat piece. It's a picture. You don't pick apart pictures and layers. On this specific document, you can see that there's already clipping masks. So I'm going to release the clipping mask. And we're going to take a look at what sits behind here. If we take a look at this area, this happens to have groupings of items, and we're going to move this whole thing as a group, and you can see what sits behind it. You can see that this whole signature for somebody done him Obama has been added, and it's not correct. It's not even real. If you look at it really closely in Photoshop, you find that the lines don't match, the numbers don't match. So I've pulled this off of the document, and there are other items in here that could be moved and manipulated. You never get that on a photocopy, and I'll show you what else could be moved and manipulated. That's what I'm doing. And if you pay close attention, you'll see that in this area here, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. You could take a look over here on the left-hand side of this document that they said. Most birth certificates that were long-form birth certificates back in 1961 did not have any kind of paper like this. This paper was not around back then for a birth certificate that I'm aware of. Also, as we look around on here, you'll see that it looks like this was a washed document, and then they've started to add things in. You'll see these numbers over here on the side. Hopefully the 9, the 1, the 2. I'm not quite sure what those are, but that really isn't part of it. Up here you have really poorly mismatched letters. Even if it was on a typewriter and a really bad typewriter, this would not be part of a separate layer. This would all be part of a photocopy. What I'm also going to do is click into this layer, and I'm going to ungroup these items, and we're going to see what else peels apart from here. I'm looking to see if there's anything else that shows up as part of something else, like part of a layer. But you can see from this document that this is not a real document. This is created by somebody. We have a fake number 1 up here that was added into this Department of Health item, and you can see that the whole thing is just not accurate. You just don't make documents like that. That's enough out of me. I'm going to post this up on Facebook and YouTube. I hope people wake up very, very soon and recognize that there's some really bad stuff going on in our government. We need to get this fixed now.
Today on April 27, 2011, whitehouse.gov, which you can see up here, released Obama's certificate of live birth. And we're going to download that to our desktop. And then we're going to open it in Adobe Illustrator. And as you can see right away, there's not just one flattened layer here, but there's actually 9 layers here. And the interesting thing is, not only, if you look closely here, does the one, darker in appearance than the grayed out rest of these numbers, but there's multiple layers here. You see right here, the none. Obviously that was copied and pasted from another document. And obviously the same thing is happening over here. It's a completely different layer. And this is the most dramatic example of it. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, maybe Adobe Illustrator makes a lot of layers for any PDF or Adobe related file automatically. So what we did was we went ahead and scanned into PDF a brand new document just now, which we're going to bring into Adobe Illustrator. And you see over here that yes, it does have different layers, but when you open and close those layers, nothing happens except one main layer. So obviously that can't possibly be the case. What's amazing to me, as someone who periodically uses Adobe products in Illustrator and Photoshop, is how this was, whoever hacked this document, which is obviously what happened to President Barack Obama's certificate of live birth. I just can't believe that they wouldn't flatten the document, which, anybody that knows Photoshop really well would, or Illustrator would be able to do immediately. But, I'll just show you once again here real quickly. You can see over here. And if you look even closer, it becomes a little more shocking. Let's take a look down here. Look at the 1 here, how it's obviously made at a completely different time and brought over from a completely different document. It's not even close. So let's find that one real quick. There we go. Not only was this copied and pasted, but it was a completely different coloring and everything else. So I find that pretty shocking, that the President of the United States of America would, first of all, wait 3 years to release his birth certificate, and then when he finally does release it, it's obviously a fake.
Technology expert has examined the Obama long-form birth certificate and has determined that changes were made to the document. Hawaii officials explained to WorldNet Daily that they put the original in a copier and then copied it onto safety paper and then sent those copies along to the president. From there, the president reportedly made copies of those documents to hand out to the press corps. And then someone uploaded an image that was posted online. the image that actually is the only one Americans have seen. But the supposed copy that was made available to the public has now been expertly analyzed. It was analyzed by Ivan Zatkovich of Tampa-based Ecomp Consultants, an expert in technology. His company consults on intellectual property for telecommunications, web publishing, and e-commerce. He has provided services for corporations such as McGraw-Hill, Houghton Mifflin, Citicorp, and Amazon.com. He has 28 years' experience in computer science and document management, and for more than 10 years he has been an expert witness providing testimony in federal court in both criminal and civil litigation. He has confirmed that the multiple layers of the PDF document made available to the public are deviants from what is normal. Here is what he says, quote, "All of the overlays were of a higher resolution than the background layer. This suggests that the overlays were created to enhance that content. The only two plausible explanations for this pattern of layers is someone was changing the content of both the text and the stamps, or someone was systematically enhancing the black text layers for legibility and then enhancing the stamp overlayers separately for legibility. It has been suggested," he says, "that these suspicious white borders indicate that items were pasted into the image. The pasting of content itself does not necessarily create a white border. A more likely reason for this halo effect is that the text was enhanced. This does not mean that other content in the document was not changed. However, most of the detectable changes are consistent with someone attempting to enhance the appearance of the document rather than change the content. It is possible, though, that in addition to enhancing the legibility of the document, that the content of the document was also changed. But the evidence clearly indicates that the document was changed," the official report says. The evidence clearly indicates that the document was changed. For 2.5 years, the public was ridiculed by Robert Gibbs, White House spokesperson, and Obama supporters when the public demanded a long-form birth certificate. We were often told that the certificate of live birth, which was posted by the Obama campaign on the internet, was all that Barack Obama had. And didn't we know that this was all that Hawaii issued? But now, all of a sudden, over 2.5 years later, and after over $1 million was spent to hide documents, this long-form document now shows up. Barack Obama affirmed in person on national TV that this was his official long-form birth certificate. But now a technology expert has verified the document Barack Obama provided has definitive evidence of enhancements and possible changes. Should we have expected anything less?
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide. The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.